Learn to play poker with the Opie and Anthony Show.
No. Oh, God. He spilled my chip.
I'm sorry, sir.
Opie. Now clean it out!
That's right. Be a poker player, just like your father.
The Opie and Anthony Show.
Are you happy now, Opie? Are you happy?
Bill Maher. So what's this about? Ben Affleck argues about Islam?
Islam, and I think Ben Affleck, from what I understand, is taking the 13-year-old Jimmy Norton argument of, just like you never can tell. But again, I have to see it, so maybe
Islamophobia on Bill Maher's show. So they went at it a bit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he had an author on, and the author's point was basically that liberals cannot find faults in Islam. And they were talking about that it's a violent religion and that it's very bad towards women and gays. And Ben Affleck took exception to that, saying that it's very racist that he's saying that.
And that's just such a childish, typical, like, limousine liberal fucking attitude.
We do have Muslims that listen to our radio show.
Yes, we do. And I'm sure that they would understand that there is homophobia in Islam and that there is violence in Islam. And I don't think they're going to deny that. The people who are cutting heads off are doing it for Islam, and they said it.
Right.
We didn't say ISIS is doing it for Islam. They said it.
All right.
Let's hear what Ben Affleck says.
You want to listen from here or your thing?
No, let's watch the...
Oh, no.
No?
No, you do.
It's radio. It's a radio show. We don't need to see his dumb face.
Here's a giant cock.
He does get really frustrated in the video clip.
Oh, let's watch the video.
He's almost like sulking.
All right,
it's a good video clip to watch.
All right, let's watch the video.
Maybe I'm wrong.
Mediaite.
I should be quiet.
.com.
I'll be quiet.
Sorry.
What I want to talk about, of course, is that you and I have been trying to make the case, I think, I have anyway, that liberals need to stand up for liberal principles. This is what I said on last week's show. Obviously, I got a lot of hate for it, but all I'm saying is that liberal principles like freedom of speech, freedom to practice any religion you want without fear of violence, freedom to leave a religion, equality for women, equality for minorities, including homosexuals. These are liberal principles that liberals applaud for, but then when you say in the Muslim world this is what's lacking, then they get upset.
Yeah. Well, liberals have really failed on the topic of theocracy. They'll criticize white theocracy. They'll criticize Christians.
Yes.
They'll still get agitated over the abortion clinic bombing that happened in 1984. But when you want to talk about the treatment of women and homosexuals and free thinkers and public intellectuals in the Muslim world, I would argue that liberals have failed us. And the crucial point of confusion, thank you.
Thank God you're here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the crucial point of confusion is that we have been sold this meme of Islamophobia, where every criticism of the doctrine of Islam gets conflated with bigotry toward Muslims as people.
Right.
And that is, it's intellectually ridiculous. It gets
so hold on, are you the person who understands the officially codified doctrine of Islam? You're the interpreter of that, so you can say, well, this is...
I'm actually well educated on this topic.
I'm asking you. So you're saying, if I criticize you're saying that Islamophobia is not a real thing. That if you're critical of something...
Well, it's not a real thing when we do it.
Right.
Well, no,
it really isn't.
I'm not denying that certain people are bigoted against Muslims as people. And that's a problem.
Big of you.
But
why are you so hostile about it?
Can you pause real quick?
It's gross. It's racist.
It's not.
Can you hear what a cunt Ben Affleck sounds like already? What a twat this guy is. What a fucking spoiled baby actor. This guy's being very reasonable, going, yeah, there's bigotry against Muslim. I don't think he's being unreasonable.
He sounds educated.
And fucking Ben Affleck, who has probably bored a lot of people at parties with this shit, just can't wait to get in. Well, that's just very big of you. Like what Bill Maher, people hate Bill Maher. I've always loved Bill Maher because he's a liberal, but he's not a language cop. He's not. I think he's great, and he does criticize certain parts of Islam.
Comes across a bit pompous, though.
Yeah, but I'm okay with that.
I hate his fucking delivery.
There's a lot of arrogant people. I mean, I'm arrogant about my own stuff.
I like Maher.
Yeah, he was nice to us.
Agree with a lot of his politics. I never met...
Me and you did when we were fucking at the West Bank Cafe. We talked to him for 45 minutes.
That's right.
He was nice to us. That's not how I judge everybody, but so Ben Affleck was nice to me too.
It's so not.
It's like saying those stateless, shifty Jew.
You're not listening to what we are saying.
You guys are saying if you want to be liberals, believe in liberal principles like freedom of speech, like you know, we are endowed by our forefathers with an inalienable rights, like all men are created equal.
Ben, we have to be able to criticize bad ideas. And
of course we do. No liberal doesn't want to criticize bad ideas.
But Islam at this moment is the motherlode of bad ideas.
Jesus.
So we have ideas like blasphemy.
It is an ugly
apostasy.
It is basic liberal
let me
principle
unpack
of
it.
tolerance.
Let me unpack it.
But not for intolerance.
No, of course not. But the picture you're painting is, to some extent, true, but is hugely incomplete. It is certainly true that plenty of fanatics and jihadis are Muslim, but the people who are standing up to them, Malala, incredible Muhammad Ali Dadak in Iran, in prison for 9 years for speaking up for Christians. A friend that I had in Pakistan who was shot this year, Rashid Rahman, for defending people accused of apostasy.
Or how about the more than 1 billion people who aren't fanatical, who don't punish women, who just want to go to school,
wait a second. Wait a second.
Don't do any of the things that you're saying all Muslims.
Wait a second.
And you painting the whole group religion with that.
No, let's get down to who has the right answer here. 1 billion people, you say. All these billion people don't hold any of these...
5 or something.
Don't hold these pernicious beliefs?
No,
I wouldn't. Well,
they don't.
That's just not true, Ben. That's just not true.
Can I just express how I think it breaks down?
Fucking, I mean, even if people agree with Ben Affleck, he just sounds like a huffing douche. He sounds awful.
You watch him, wait till he sulks. You'll see him. He puts his head down like a little kid that doesn't get his way as they're going on.
Here's why. Because again, being Ben Affleck and being who he is, he's extremely used to holding court. And people going, that's a good point. And he's not used to someone like Bill Maher, who's not impressed with him, saying that's just not true.
You don't think people challenge Ben Affleck?
No, where he gets kind of passionate and then they back off. Because like, oh, you must sound, Bill, you're painting with a broad. It's like, ugh.
Let's see some more of this.
It's just awful.
I want to see the part where he sulks and puts his head down on the table.
The idea, you haven't even you're trying to say that these few people, that's all the problem is, these few bad apples. The idea that someone should be killed if they leave the Islamic...
That's horrible. That should...
Wait, you're saying that the idea that someone should be killed if they leave the Islamic religion is just a few bad apples?
The people who would actually believe and enact that you murder somebody if they leave Islam is not the majority of Muslims at all.
Okay, let me break this down for you. Okay, we have, as you say, we have 1.5, 1.6 billion Muslims. Now,
second biggest religion in the world, a quarter.
Well, Ben, let me unpack this. Let me unpack this for you.
Please do.
We have just imagine some concentric circles here. You have at the center, you have jihadists. These are people who wake up in the morning wanting to kill apostates, wanting to die trying. They believe in paradise. They believe in martyrdom. Outside of them, we have Islamists. These are people who are just as convinced of martyrdom and paradise and wanting to foist their religion on the rest of humanity, but they want to work within the system. They're not going to blow themselves up on a bus. They want to change governments. They want to use democracy against itself. Those two circles arguably are 20% of the Muslim world. Okay, this is not the fringe of the fringe.
That research on?
A bunch of poll results that we can talk about. So to give you one point of contact, 78% of British Muslims think that the Danish cartoonist should have been prosecuted. 78%. So I'm being conservative when I roll this back to 20%. But outside of that circle, you have conservative Muslims who can honestly look at ISIS and say that does not represent us, that we're horrified by that, but they hold views about human rights and about women, about homosexuals that are deeply troubling. So these are not Islamists, they're not jihadists, but
those views are anathema to ours.
But they also keep women and homosexuals immiserated in these cultures, and we have to empower the true reformers in the Muslim world to change it. And lying about the link between doctrine and behavior is not going to do that.
The Great Divide... the Great Divide is not between Islam and the rest. It's rather between the fundamentalists and the moderates in each faith.
Okay, but we're misled to think that the fundamentalists are the fringe. Okay, we have jihadists, Islamists, and conservatives.
Well, and by the way,
there's hundreds of millions of people.
You're saying that the strongest voices are coming from those who are jihadists and extremists.
And
that represents a bigger piece of the pie than we often think.
There's no question.
Okay, so having said that, even if that is true,
why is he sulking? Because he's not getting his way. Like Jim said, he's at Hollywood parties.
Yeah.
He holds court, and everybody agrees with him.
Here's why why he's sulking. Because he's used to saying those things and having nobody who can come back and say 78% of British Muslims believe that the Danish cartoonist should be prosecuted. He has zero to say about that.
He's in over his head, and he knows it because this guy could back up his facts at least with some knowledge that Ben doesn't have on this.
Yeah.
At least the other guy Ben
just has his passion and he believes that a certain point, but these guys actually have stats and facts.
What a douche! At least the other guy, the other guy's on Ben's.
He's trying to look cool on TV still, but he's sulking.
The other guy who's on Ben's side at least knows what he's talking about. Like the guy who's saying it's
yeah, because he did his research as well.
Yeah. Oh, Ben's a fool.
Oh, that's funny.
Boo, Ben.
Is that it? Sam,
Please
more or less?
No, there's more.
Please more salt. You should see the fucking face on Ben is great.
Anything to recognize that I don't know.
He's rubbing his beard, looking down.
Yeah, he's
that
thinking.
There are voices that are oftentimes in opposition to these jihadists and to these extreme acts. But guess what? They don't get covered. They don't get exposed. And they're not given the same level of platform.
He covered his face with his hand. Started rubbing his forehead.
One reason they don't get exposed is because they're afraid to speak out. Because it's the only religion that acts like the mafia.
Shut down.
Will fucking kill you if you say the wrong thing, draw the wrong picture, or write the wrong book.
So you do. Does Ben talk again?
Yeah.
There's a reason why Ayaan Hirsi Ali needs bodyguards 24/7.
You do have that element of fear as well, but you also have other braver souls out there who do speak out and who who
are risking their lives to do that.
like the Muslim clerics and others from Australia to Europe to the United States just recently publicly put their names on paper declaring their opposition to what ISIS and others are doing. So there are those voices, but where was the coverage? Where was that story to sort of create a different picture?
What is your solution? What is your act?
No, the solution is very much what
we've killed more Muslims than they've killed us by an awful lot. We've invaded more Muslims.
I am not for more killing.
An awful lot. And yet somehow we're exempted from these things because they're not really a reflection of what we believe in. We did by accident. That's why we invaded Iraq and put 4 million people.
We're not convincing anybody.
It's not specifically telling you that I disagree with what you think.
I know, and we're obviously not convincing anybody of you.
You don't understand my argument.
Your argument is like, black people, they show each other.
That is not my argument.
No, it's not. It's based on facts. I can show you a Pew poll of Egyptians. They are not outliers in the Muslim world that say like 90% of them believe death is the appropriate response to leaving the religion. If 90% of Brazilians thought that death was the appropriate response to leaving Catholicism, you would think it was a bigger deal.
I would think it's a big deal no matter what.
Okay, but that's the fact.
But what I wouldn't do is say it's all Brazilians, or I wouldn't say, well, Ted Bundy did this. God damn, these gays are all trying to eat each other.
Okay, let me just give you what you want. There are hundreds of millions of Muslims who are nominal Muslims, who don't take the faith seriously, who don't want to kill apostates, who are horrified by ISIS, and we need to defend these people, prop them up, and let them reform.
Dude, you're talking ISIS couldn't fill a AA ballpark in Charleston, West Virginia, and you were making a career out of ISIS.
But no, it's not just ISIS. It's all jihadists. It's global. It's a phenomenon of global jihad.
I think that's the opposite.
There is those things. There's ISIS. There's global jihadists. The question is the degree to which you're willing to say, because I've witnessed this behavior, which we all object to on the part of these people, I'm willing to flatly condemn those of you I don't know and have never met.
No,
this is
not
based
condemning
on
people. It's ideas.
And,
gotta make
and people who believe in those ideas.
So it's people who believe
based on reality, Ben. We're not making it up that there is that in the Muslim world it is mainstream belief.
But this is such a caricature of Indonesia, of Malaysia, so much of the world. And this does have the tinge a little bit of the way white racists talk about African Americans and define blacks by.
What you're saying is because they are a minority, we shouldn't criticize.
Not that much of a minority. It's the second biggest religion in the world.
Exactly, but you're treating them like a minority. But, I mean, if Filipinos were capturing teenagers and sending them into white slavery, we would criticize that. We wouldn't say, well, they're
criticize
Filipinos.
the people who are doing it, not the Philippines. You know what I mean?
Well, what if the people...
As a Filipino kid lives down the street from you would have nothing to do with that. So these are different things. Crazy
Racial
people.
stereotyping.
I think it goes.
Let's talk. All right.
Ben Affleck got his ass completely handed to him.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah. Because I didn't hear that guy was criticizing all Muslims. Like, if the guy was saying, look, Muslims are terrible, then Ben Affleck would have a great point. Like, you can't judge everybody and lump them all in. But I didn't think that's what the guy was saying. He was kind of just saying, no, it's about the idea. And the fact is, like, they are the ones who are fucking killing homosexuals more than anyone. Or, you know, Ahmadinejad got fucking laughed at in Colombia, and he's like, "There's no homosexuals in Iran," you know.
Wow, I just enjoyed him sulking.
Was that great?
It was wonderful.
That's why you need to see the video.
Yeah, he was really upset.